Hey, hey, hey. Wow, that's been a while, guys. Um, it's just, I know this is like an episode in far too long, and the truth is, it's just one of the many episodes that has been first in my head, and just one that finally put out there to kind of wrap up the year because I won't lie, guys, from the last episode of Waiting to this one, it has been indeed a period of waiting. And I've just got to talk this time around. I couldn't just leave you guys, at least people that actually care and listen, I couldn't just leave the year gone like that because I've made mouth a lot about consistency, persistent, doing what you should do, doing it at the right time. I have laid it out there on how it's important to do what you need to do, right? And so I have been thinking and pretty much meditating on what to end the year 2023 talking about. I won't lie, there were supposed to be about 3 or 4 episodes leading to this, but it's just, things happen and it's up to you as a human being to be able to navigate around your situation and, come out on top. Yes, of course, I would keep saying it. Human strength would fail. And I just want to thank God first. If you're sitting down, walking, whatever you're doing, listening, and I just want you to just thank God for me, thank God for yourself. Just wow, it's really 365 days to an end. Even if you're not listening to this at the end of the year, or maybe in the next year, whatever time you're listening to this, it's just an episode to wrap up the year 2023 because I really, really have to say that 365 days in year 2023 was not just waking up, sleeping. There were moments when I would just be I wanted that to happen. So earlier in the year, I was running my internship, right? And towards the end of the year, I ended and started a new phase. If you're in Nigeria and you are still below 30 and, you plan to someday come back and work in Nigeria or you plan to work in Nigeria, it's kind of mandated for you to go through a 1-year service training called NYSC, National Youth Service Corps. So basically, we serve our country in different states. You're posted to different states. And based on your course discipline in school, you're posted to places for primary assignment in that new state, except if you can work it and stuff, and then you get posted to the state of where you want. But most of the time, you are not the one to choose where you're posted to, and then you work there for another year. Now, the big difference is now the government is paying you because basically you belong to them. And so it's just a lot, the amount, everything. And it's part of the phase that I'm in. It's the phase I'm currently in. And it's quite different from what I left. And a lot just went around it. Don't worry, guys, because officially next year, I'm really going to be serving in that state. By the way, drum roll, please. So I'm serving in Enugu State. Whoa. And that is a new land. That is a place where I've not been to, only heard. But funny enough, how my mother served there, you guys. It's just amazing, right? So it's your mom served there and I'm serving there. But we did different disciplines, so we are not going to the same place. But it's not a bad place. So anyway, next year you get all the deets more and how God is helping me navigate the land, because before you do anything, I would insist that you commit it into God's hands, and after that you sit down and really plan with Him. I think I've done something planning earlier this year, 2023, and though sometimes when we speak, we don't know that our words could come back and hold us accountable. So like that's another thing I'm taking very deliberately next year. Like make sure that as you speak a word, it just doesn't fall to the ground. You actually make it happen. But that's for next year, right? So back to this year. Stuff happened to me quite in the space of July to December. So let's just go August, September, October, November, December. It's like 5 months, almost 5 months. And they were like a test of my true patience, my true understanding, my standing in the promises of God. Like I was quite drawn. I would say, I'm going to do this. And then I would just be fair. I would be fighting with my inner self, right? But I don't want this podcast to be sad. I don't want this podcast to be, very, moody or stuff. I want it to be a reflective podcast. I want it to be, a cheerful podcast for you, for me, just as you're walking, as I'm sharing my own, okay, this is how my year went. But even in the year, I could still see the good stuff. I lesson learned, right? I learned to always stop weighing the scales of the good and bad. I feel they can never be equal because we tend to say, okay, 4 good things happen to me, 4 good bad things happen to me, it's balanced. I think 1 good thing should be bigger than 4, 5, 6, 7 bad things, because life in itself is quite complex and hard in its way. And then it's like sometimes it feels like things are against you. And so if you don't hold on to the good things, if you don't remember, if you don't reflect on the wonderful things happening in your life, the fact that you have breath in your lungs, you can listen to the podcast, you have a phone, all those tiny good things, you would tend to forget those things and you would be overwhelmed with the annoying things of life. Currently I'm in Nigeria. Oh, if you guys understand why I said that, then kudos to you, right? So currently I'm in Nigeria and there are just moments where I'm like, really, Nigeria, you would do this? Like, why? Why are you failing me? Because I don't believe God makes mistakes. I don't believe that. I know that everything that God does, He's aware. And yes, He permits some things to happen, but He's quite aware of every transaction, everything that goes on this earth. And so me being born in Nigeria is no mistake. And there are certain things I would learn from this country I'm going to not do. And, so those are like the tiny things that just hold me whenever I'm so annoyed or angered by the system failing in this country. I work in the health sector. If this is your first one, maybe somebody introduced you to this. So just listen to the other ones. You learn more about me. So I work in the health sector, right? And I would just like to say that it's one of the sectors that's just very sad in this country. During my service, I worked in the clinic. No, during my camp day. So yeah, for NYC, there's a period of 3 weeks, yes, that you would go to that state for camp. Basically, everybody will be in the orientation camp where you learn what you're supposed to do for the remaining 11 months. So, I worked in the clinic in Enugu State Camp, which is Ogu, and it was quite an experience. First off, Enugu Camp was quite populated for this one. It was like about 2,000 young individuals. Now, everybody there that comes as we've all graduated, and for the medical team, we've at least done 1 year of work before we come to serve. So we have an experience, right? As I said, it's quite different. Internship, most of us work in all these big state hospitals and stuff, so we have the equipment and stuff, and then we come to the camps and you have to work with what you have. My experience in Ogu Clinic was quite something. And it just made me sad about how bad the health sector was. Like, we didn't have common test things like that were provided for by the government. If anything we used in that camp, most of it was provided by the former set. like every batch would donate and get something for the clinic. So it was just painful, guys. It was just painful. As I said, if you try to outweigh the good if you try to weigh the good with the bad, you would just be sad. Right now, I'm just reflecting on the fact that we, the doctors and the nurses and the physiotherapists, the med lab, the paramedics, we tried. Guys, imagine diagnosing, treating patients with the limited resources that you have and people actually getting better, quite better. The doctors will put their heads together to come up with the diagnosis as close as it gets with the symptoms. And you'll be shocked of how we can actually get serious cases in the camp. But we are grateful to God that there were not so many that we couldn't handle. And most of them, we probably just pushed it till they would go home. Some people left the camp, like we advised them to go home because we knew that if they'd stayed, things could get out of hand. So luckily they would go home. But that was just another thing that I was just like, well, I had not coughed in the air for a long time until I got to camp. Imagine coughing for more than 4 days, almost a week, guys. It wasn't cool. The phone on my screen spoiled too. I just had moments where I just wanted to scream and cry, and I just, would smile. But I just realized that as I'm in my reflection stage right now, it's just that everything happens with the choices, according to the choices you make, right? So I chose to go to Enugu, and I'm just, experiencing the results of that choice, the consequences. So if I hadn't, it would be another different story right now. But I'm glad for it, right? I mean, it just gives me something to talk about. And it just means I could start the phase and end it quickly, because I'm actually in the set where our 12 months is actually like 10 months because we're ending October next year. And it's just funny that I ended internship October this year. So October 2024 is another, ending to another phase and beginning of another one. It's 28 December. I'm currently recording this. I don't know. I hope I get it released before 31st. So guys, as we wrap up this year, I just want you to really reflect more on the good than the bad. Try not to weigh it out. And as I would say, learn. I think human beings, one of the best things or one of the greatest gifts we have is the ability to learn, to unlearn, to relearn and all that. Animals can't really be learning and relearning as fast or as well as we do. You train them, they learn tricks and stuff, but that's just about it. But we learn new things. We learn from our mistakes. We learn what to do, how not to do it again and again. And it's just one of the gifts God's given us apart from choice, the ability to learn. If you don't want to learn, when you stop learning, that's when you stop living. That's just me, okay? So I want us to just reflect on the good from the bad. Yeah, you were moved to another place you didn't like. You don't like the new job. You don't like your friends. Or you make new ones. You learn from, how did I make this friend? What do I have to learn from, that relationship? How am I going forward? I just really want us to reflect on it and try as much as not possible not to put the scales the same way. Don't think one good will outshine one bad. One good should and can and must outshine a lot of the bads so that we can have hope. Another beautiful thing is we have hope, and you can smile and you can be happy all by you, just making sure you do it yourself. So guys, really reflect. What to expect in the coming year? Really, guys, I would say just wait for it. I would not talk as much. Lately I've been learning to be quiet. I have learned a lot, guys, from relationships, from circumstances. And one thing I learned again is there are not so many people you can talk to about certain aspects of your life. You must have your own inner circle. You must have the 3 out of the 12. It's just it's just safer and easier to live life that way. So as we go on, did I just say Sha? Anyway, as we go on in the next year, you would, see more. And I just want you to keep your ears peeled and eyes peeled. I don't really know, but podcasting is fun. Podcasting is really something I do believe I want to do. I think that was something I just really learned again this few months that I was away. I missed talking. I was just not, I don't know, should I say finding the right energy, or I was giving excuses to myself for what not to do it. But I really did miss talking. I really did miss recording. I really did miss posting. Oh, check out my new podcast, because I'm on my Instagram page, Curious Intern, by the way, guys. Podcast. I think that's a full thing. Curious_intern podcast. I follow other podcasters and I see how big and wonderful it is. And I'll just write and scribble in my notes. Okay, this is what we're going to do. This is what we're going to do. But then, okay, actualize it, right? Oh, we have a lot to talk about. Actualizing what you need to do. I feel that should be another change. If you're like me and you feel like 2023 did you something, right? Struck some chords. Please let's not sit back. Let's take 2024 by the head, or oh my goodness, by the horn, I think. I don't know. But yeah, I celebrated my birthday, my 25th. I can tell you guys that I'm so happy about that. I'm now finally 25. They call it diamond. So I don't know. I feel like all these stops in ages, not stops, but this significant numbers. Not all numbers are significant, but it's just beautiful. You're 1, you're 5, you're 10, you're 15, 20, 18, 21, 25, 30, 40, and you just celebrate those monumental ages, right? So for me, it was quite a big thing. I really had plans for it. And I was excited to be 25. And I think it's more or less going to really be actualized in the coming year, what being 25 really means, what being my own adult, because I'm really going to a strange land. I'm going to a land where the only people I really know are the people I met in camp, right? So I'm going to be living in a land where I don't know much, and learning and seeing how choices being made and all that. Guys, I can't wait to bring you on the journey with me. But it's not like I'm going to be saying my copper diaries or something. No, I feel like there's more. And it's just from those life experiences, I will be drawing out questions and answering them, because I really wanted to reflect on what is my podcast really about, what it is. And it's just, we're going to be answering a lot of that in the coming year. I just wanted this episode to just be okay, let's wrap up the year 2023 as a nice gift. And, we're thank you, Jesus. Thank you, Lord, for making this year run. And we're alive. I lost people this year, guys. Let's just say people. Yeah, I mean, there are people. I lost people that I knew, apart from work. People that I saw in 1 month, talked to in 1 month, and smiled. And then they're gone the following. It's so surreal. Guys, I'm glad you're alive to listen to this anyway. And I'm glad you're, really, you're there. So till next time, hopefully the next time will not be another 6 months. I just want you to be happy and really do well to make your plans come to fruition in this coming year. And may God help you, because by my strength will no man prevail. So I just want you to do well and be well. Stay safe, guys. Till next time, God bless you. This is Curious Intern. You can check the social handles. And I really want to even be more interactive, right? So we're trying to set up a meal for Curious Intern, but currently I'm having difficulty because I want it to be my numbers. And apparently I've used my phone numbers to access all the emails I have. But yeah, I think there's a mail you can send it to. I think I put it in my bio. But you can always DM. Yeah, so just check me out on Instagram. I want you to just what do you want, or what are you expecting the coming year for yourself, for Curious Intern? I'm not really like I'm going to take your decisions concerning my podcast, but I really just want to see how your mind works. Podcasting, we are talking behind, right? I'm not really doing podcasts on YouTube yet because I don't feel really led to it, but I do believe that I would someday. But yeah, for now we're doing it behind the mic, behind the recording and stuff. So yeah, send me a DM on Curious Intern Podcast on Instagram and tell me about your year, and what this podcast is meant to you. God bless you. Guys, bye.